Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the house that Dungeons & Dragons built, Legends of Vox Machina, Amazon Prime, Season 1, Episode 11. In this content, spoilers for the entire Season 1 of Legends of Vox Machina. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you the worst moment in Season 1, Episode 11 of Legends of Vox Machina. What was the worst moment? Alright, so, Vox Machina is fighting Silas Briarwood, the vampire, and Delilah Briarwood, the necromancer. So the worst moment is Delilah Briarwood's reaction to her husband being killed, right? So basically, Silas is killed when Grog physically restrains him, succeeds on his grapple check, right? And then Keyleth uses her druid powers to punch a hole in him, to just like evaporate him with sunlight from the sun tree. Actually, it's a really good. That was extremely good writing, right? Like, it was extremely well done, extremely well crafted. Vampire in the depths of a ziggurat is killed underground when sunlight is channeled from the sun tree from a druid, right? Like, that's dope, man. Like, so Keyleth, that was pretty cool. So Keyleth and Grog directly kill Silas Briarwood, right? Now Delilah, who has been shown to us to be this strong, independent necromancer villain woman, right? Like, and that's good, right? Like, I'm for strong female femstrotogs, female strong protagonists, right? It's a term I use because you see them in a lot of, like Rey. She was a femstrotog, right? Like, female strong protagonist. Right, and actually, oh yeah, good. I should say this. Tog still fits. So Delilah Briarwood is a female strong antagonist. She is a villain, right? So basically, she's trying to like resurrect this long dead god, and basically, I don't think they did a good job of telling you what who the Briarwoods were actually bringing the big bad, right? And so basically, she's trying to bring back this big bad, right? And this is hard to believe. Like, whenever I see fantasy novels and they're like, any kind of fantasy story, and actually this is a Dungeons & Dragons story, and so you're like, okay, you want to bring back this evil god. Why? Like, in every story that ends like this, you bring back the evil god, they eviscerate you, and are like, thank you, next. Why did anybody serve these evil gods? It doesn't make any sense. So, one, I didn't think that was a strong writing point, right? Like, there should have been a better motivation for the Briarwoods overall, but the motivation for Delilah Briarwood was the worst moment ever. Her husband dies, and then she literally cries and is like, oh no, Silas is dead again. And all I really care about is Silas not being dead, right? And you're like, okay, female strong antagonist, powerful, independent, but sad because her husband's dead. Like, that's the motivation here. Like, doesn't she have bigger plans? Isn't like she driving toward bigger goals? And the reality is no, right? Like, and you're kind of like, like, does every female strong antagonist need to be tied to her love of a man? Like, and even like, she's in the middle of the action, right? She's like, couldn't they given her a scene? She's like, oh, I'm really sad about Silas, but I got work to do. Let's get this done, right? And I'm going to kill all you Vox Machina people without taking a moment to weep, right? Like, and so I just really feel like we're still trying to determine how to present female, strong female antagonists and protagonists and independent women on screen. And, and honestly, I wouldn't, I want this from any story, but I'm like, hey, aren't you guys, like, supposed to be super woke? Like, is it she's really going to get, she's in the middle of a big action scene, she's got people to kill, and she has to take time to cry and get all weepy about Silas being dead, right? The other thing is, it's just old and tired, right? Like, and why do I say that? Because basically, like, the Bible has this verse that says, hey, you Christians, think a lot of yourselves because you take good care of your kids and your family. guess what? Everybody cares about their family, right? Like, you know, you don't have to be a Christian to care about you. Caring about your family don't count, right? Like, essentially, it's a given, right? Like, the reality is, this world is made better, and even if you are, and like, so basically, she's trying to be this huge, larger-than-life figure, doing bigger, larger-than-life things, right? So the reality is, you know, if that's the case, yes, we get it that you care about this one person, but they can't be your whole world, right? Like, and the idea too is like that she's like, oh, now that Silas is dead, I'm going to do this for Silas. I'm like, why not just do it for you? Like, he just did, you know, it's just tired. Like, that everybody's like, oh, I didn't really care about anybody in this world, but now that somebody is 2 feet away from me, that's either a friend or family, well, you know, has been harmed, now I'm really motivated, right? And it's just an absolute constant drumbeat. Like, and Hollywood doesn't know how to tell stories where motivation isn't coming from literally the Batman, my parents died, literally my family or my friend is endangered. It's lazy, soft, non-engaging, lazy writing. And while there was a lot of great writing from the Legends of Vox Machina team, this was lazy and tired and poor. And I think it was the worst moment in Legends of Vox Machina, Season 1, Episode 11. What do you think was the worst moment in Legends of Vox Machina, Season 1, Episode 11? And what do you think? How do we tell these stories? How do we show strong female protagonists and antagonists in our story without grounding their motivation in their partner, all right, or in a family member, or in a friend? Like, it's tired, it's old, it's done, right? Can't there be new motivations, interesting motivations with more gravitas? What are your thoughts? How do we get this done? How do we tell these better stories in our Dungeons & Dragons tales, right? This one's, Legends of Vox Machina is Matthew Mercer's Dungeons & Dragons tales. How do we tell a better story in our Dungeons & Dragons story when it comes to strong female protagonists? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.